Hi, I'm here at Driveway Austin Motorsports, where we're spending half the day with the new 2014 Lexus IS. It's available in rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, 250, 350, there's a bunch of different variations. But the real changes aren't to the powertrain, they're to the chassis and to the suspension. There's a lot of really cool updates going on with the suspension especially, but it's grown a little bit longer, it's a little bit stiffer, there's a lot more bracing going on, and some interesting weld technology. All in all, it's definitely a big refresh for the car, although I wouldn't quite call it all new, especially after having spent half a day on the track with it.
If you find yourself in a twisty stretch of canyon, mountain, hill country road, like we are here just outside of Austin, this is a fun car to drive.
Lexus is really pitching the new 2014 IS as a legitimate competitor to the Germans, both on the street and on the track. But can the 350, especially with the F-Sport package, really keep up with a BMW 335i or a Mercedes C350? The answer is yes, but for us it's not a resounding yes. There are some shortcomings in the suspension tune, a little bit in the power department, but most notably in the dynamic traction control. On track, the 2014 Lexus IS is very capable. Is it as capable as the Germans? In some ways yes, in some ways more so, in some ways less so. Cornering is very flat, with the 8-speed transmission in rear-wheel drive models, especially F-Sport models. It's smooth shifting, it's fairly quick shifting. The automatic GAI program uses the accelerometers on board to determine where you need to shift, or where the automatic transmission needs to shift for you rather. All in all, it's a good experience. So what do we have against the new IS on track then? Well, comparing it to the last IS, it doesn't really seem all that new. That is to say, the handling characteristics and dynamics are very, very similar. The new IS is a little bit sharper and a little bit better, as you'd expect from the newly reinforced chassis, but overall the feeling is still very much the same. Comparing it to the Germans, we find the traction and stability control programming to be a bit too highly interventional. It gets in the way of letting the car have some slip angle, which can in fact be faster in some situations, and at the very least is more fun. Allowing that extra slip angle with traction and stability control still on to some degree provides a safety net for the enthusiast, for the amateur, when they do get the chance to really open their cars up on the track. It gives them that little bit of security to keep them from really getting into a bad situation. It's something we'd like to see on the new IS, and it's something that the Germans already offer. There are some very interesting things going on in the chassis of the car, especially with the suspension setup, as one comes by on track right now. The dampers are automatically variable with this new robotized manual adjustment system that lets the computer adapt the rebound and compression settings over a fairly wide range automatically on the fly. It's an innovative combination of manual and modern electronic technology that's very much unlike a magnetorheological damper, but an interesting application of the technology in the car that ends up working very well on track.
Something every enthusiast is at least going to wonder about the new IS is, how does it drive in manual transmission? Though this new 8-speed automatic transmission is very smooth, very easy to live with on the street. On the track in automatic mode, it's really quite good as well. The GAI system does a good job of figuring out where it needs to downshift. It never interrupts the driving process. But in manual mode, is it any good? To be fair, it's really quite good, especially for an automatic. It's no dual clutch. It will, flip the throttle on downshifts. It will, shift relatively quickly going up, but there's none of that direct engaged feel that you get with a computerized manual like a dual clutch. It's just not that engaged. It's not that direct.
So at the end of a full day, both on track and on the street, the new 2014 Lexus IS, what's our initial verdict? We like it. It's a really good car overall. It hangs with the Germans, although it is a different experience, both on track and on the street. One car we would really like to have seen compared, however, is the new Cadillac ATS. That's definitely a wild card in the luxury performance sedan scenario right now. And while it shares the cornering flatness of the Lexus IS, it has a bit more of an intuitive dynamic feel. It also offers a manual transmission, which for the enthusiast is going to be a big deal. Still, on the whole, we enjoyed the time we've spent with the 2014 Lexus IS.